Rescue teams stunned to find golden retriever covered in barnacles and swarmed by bees. The Montana wilderness held secrets in its vast expanses of pine-covered mountains and sweeping valleys, but none quite as extraordinary as the tale of a golden retriever who would come to be known as River. Her story would weave together the lives of wild creatures, dedicated rescuers, and a young girl whose compassion would bridge the gap between two worlds. In the shadow of the Bitterroot Mountains, where the morning mist clung to the evergreens like gossamer veils, a pack of wild dogs made their home. Led by Storm, a powerful black and silver wolf dog hybrid with eyes the color of winter frost, the pack had carved out their territory in this remote corner of wilderness. Among them was Sunny, a sleek black dog with a gentle soul and keen intelligence that set her apart from her more feral packmates. Sarah Matthews, head of the Montana Wildlife Sanctuary, often said that Sunny had people eyes, warm brown orbs that seemed to hold an almost human understanding of the world around her. It was these same eyes that would first spot the strange newcomer who would change their lives forever. The day began like any other in early autumn, with the pack making their morning rounds of their territory. The air was crisp with the promise of coming winter, and the aspen leaves had begun their annual transformation into flames of gold and orange. Sunny trotted alongside Storm, her position as his trusted beta earned through years of loyalty and wisdom rather than brute strength. The first sign that something was amiss came with the distant buzz of angry bees. The sound grew steadily louder, accompanied by the crashing of underbrush and desperate whimpers. The pack tensed, hackles rising as Storm let out a low growl of warning. Through the trees burst a sight that stopped them all in their tracks, a golden retriever, but unlike any they'd ever seen. The dog's coat was matted and dull, but what drew their attention were the strange, dark growths covering much of its body. They looked like stones or shells, clinging to the golden fur in clusters. The dog was clearly exhausted, its movements jerky and pained as it tried to escape the swarm of bees that pursued it relentlessly. Sunny's instincts kicked in before her brain could process what she was seeing. Breaking formation, she darted toward the struggling golden retriever, her black coat a blur against the forest floor. Storm's sharp bark of warning went unheeded as she positioned herself between the newcomer and the angry swarm. Miles away, in the Montana Wildlife Sanctuary's main office, Emma Davidson was completing her afternoon homework at her mother's desk. At 12 years old, Emma practically lived at the sanctuary, spending every moment she could among the rescued animals her mother, Dr. Catherine Davidson, helped rehabilitate. Her father's death 2 years ago had left a void that only seemed to fill when she was surrounded by the sanctuary's healing mission. The call came in at 3:47 p.m. Montana Wildlife Sanctuary, "This is Emma speaking," she answered, just as her mother had taught her. The voice on the other end was breathless with urgency. "We've got a situation up near Miller's Creek. A pack of wild dogs, and there's one in serious trouble. Never seen anything like it. It's covered in some kind of growths, and there's a massive bee swarm attacking it." Emma's hand shook as she wrote down the details, her other hand already reaching for the radio to alert her mother, who was out checking on a recently released wolf pack. Within 30 minutes, the sanctuary's rescue team was assembled and heading toward the coordinates provided by the hiker who'd called in the sighting. Dr. Catherine Davidson, known to most as Dr. Kate, led the team personally. Her daughter's pleading eyes had nearly convinced her to let the girl come along, but the unknown nature of the situation made it too risky. "Next time, Sweet Pea," she promised, leaving Emma to monitor the radio communications. The rescue team arrived to find a scene straight out of a wildlife documentary. A black dog, likely a pack member, was attempting to lead the injured golden retriever toward a shallow stream, seemingly understanding that water might provide refuge from the bees. The rest of the pack watched from a distance, torn between their instinct to flee and their curiosity about the unfolding drama. Dr. Kate quickly assessed the situation. "Those aren't barnacles," she muttered, reaching for her binoculars. "They're fungal growths, never seen anything like it on a canine before." She turned to her team. "We need to act fast. The bees are the immediate threat, then we'll deal with whatever's growing on that poor creature." The team worked with practiced efficiency, using smoke canisters to disperse the bee swarm while carefully approaching the two dogs. The black dog, who they would later learn was Sunny, showed remarkable behavior, neither fleeing nor displaying aggression as the humans approached. Instead, she stood guard over the golden retriever, who had collapsed from exhaustion. What followed was a delicate dance of trust and necessity. Dr. Kate approached slowly, speaking in soft, reassuring tones. "Easy there, beautiful. We're here to help your friend." To her amazement, the black dog seemed to understand, stepping aside just enough to allow access to the injured golden retriever while maintaining her protective stance. The golden retriever, barely conscious, offered no resistance as they carefully lifted her onto a stretcher. The fungal growths, upon closer inspection, had created hard, shell-like formations across her back and sides, restricting her movement and clearly causing significant discomfort. More surprisingly, the black dog followed them all the way to their vehicles, only stopping when Dr. Kate gently insisted she couldn't come along. Back at the sanctuary, Emma was waiting at the medical building's entrance, her face pale with concern as they brought in their patient. "Mom, is she going to be okay?" she asked, her voice small but steady. "We're going to do everything we can. Sweet pea," Dr. Kate assured her, already focusing on the task ahead. The next several hours were a blur of activity as they worked to save the golden retriever they would come to call River. The fungal growths proved to be a rare condition, one that Dr. Kate had only read about in medical journals. It had likely developed during a period of severe neglect, suggesting River had once been someone's pet before being abandoned or lost. Removing the growths required careful attention, and with each one cleared away, they discovered raw, sensitive skin underneath that would need time and treatment to heal. Throughout the procedure, Emma remained nearby, helping where she could and offering quiet words of encouragement to their patient. There was something in River's eyes, a profound sadness mixed with a fierce will to survive, that touched Emma deeply. She recognized that look. She'd seen it in her own reflection in the months after losing her father. As River began her recovery, an unexpected visitor appeared at the sanctuary's perimeter fence. The black dog from the rescue had somehow tracked them down, appearing each morning to watch the building where River was being treated. After consulting with her team, Dr. Kate made the unprecedented decision to allow the dog-controlled access to visit River. "I've never seen anything quite like this relationship," Dr. Kate admitted to her colleague, Dr. James Chun, as they watched Sunny gently nuzzle River through the kennel fence. "That black dog shows more emotional intelligence than some humans I know." Dr. Chun, who had been documenting the case for a research paper, nodded thoughtfully. "The real question is what we do when River's healed. She's clearly bonded with the wild pack, but she's also responding remarkably well to human care. The question would prove to be more complex than anyone anticipated." As River's physical health improved, her emotional state became their primary concern. Though gentle with her caregivers, especially Emma, she showed signs of depression, spending hours staring at the distant mountains where her pack roamed. Emma, who had taken to reading her homework aloud to River during her recovery, was the first to voice what they all knew needed to happen. "She misses her family, Mom," she said one evening, her fingers gently stroking River's newly healed coat. "Just like I miss Dad, but at least I still have you. She needs to go home." The statement, simple but profound, set in motion a plan that would require careful coordination and a bit of luck. Dr. Kate reached out to wildlife photographer Michael Harrison, known for his work tracking and documenting wild dog packs in the region. If anyone could help them locate River's pack, it would be him. Harrison arrived at the sanctuary 2 days later, his weathered face breaking into a smile as he reviewed the footage from their security cameras. "I know this pack," he confirmed, pointing to Storm's distinctive markings. "They've been in the Bitterroot region for at least 3 years. Remarkable group, they've managed to maintain their territory without any serious conflicts with local ranchers." The news brought both relief and a new challenge. The pack's territory was vast, and their movements were dictated by factors ranging from weather to prey availability. Finding them would require patience and perfect timing. Sunny's regular visits proved to be the key to their solution. Harrison suggested using her natural instinct to return to her pack to guide River home. "It's risky," he admitted, "but it's also our best chance. That black dog has demonstrated an extraordinary ability to navigate between both worlds." The plan was set for a clear morning in late October. River's health had fully returned, her coat now glossy and free of any signs of her previous condition. The morning of the release, Emma spent an hour brushing River's fur, her movements slow and deliberate, trying to memorize every detail of the dog she had come to love. "You're going to be amazing out there," Emma whispered, fighting back tears. "But don't forget about us, okay? Come visit sometimes, like Sunny does." The release site was chosen carefully, close enough to known pack territory to be familiar, but far enough from human settlements to give River the best chance of reuniting with her family. As they prepared to open River's transport crate, Sunny appeared as if on cue, watching from the tree line with alert interest. Dr. Kate knelt beside her daughter, who hadn't let go of River's crate door. "Ready, Sweet Pea?" Emma nodded, her hands steady as she unlatched the door. River emerged cautiously, her nose working overtime as she took in the familiar scents of her homeland. She turned once to look at Emma, and in that moment, something passed between them. An understanding that transcended the barriers between wild and tame. Then Sunny barked, a sharp, clear sound that echoed through the trees, and River's posture changed. She stood taller, her muscles tensing with newfound purpose. With one last glance at her human friends, she bounded towards Sunny, and together they disappeared into the forest. The story might have ended there, but nature had other plans. 2 weeks later, Emma was completing her evening rounds at the sanctuary when movement at the perimeter fence caught her attention. There, in the gathering dusk, stood River and Sunny, and behind them, maintaining a cautious distance, was Storm himself. "Mom!" Emma called out, her voice trembling with excitement. "Mom, come quick!" Dr. Kate emerged from her office to witness something she would later describe as one of the most remarkable moments of her career. The Wild Pack's alpha, Storm, was allowing 2 of his pack members to maintain a connection with the sanctuary that had helped one of their own. Over the following months, these visits became a regular occurrence. Sometimes River would come alone, sometimes with Sunny, and occasionally, on special nights when the moon was full and the air was clear, the entire pack would appear at the sanctuary's edge, their presence a reminder of the delicate balance between wild and tame. Emma's 12th birthday celebration, held in the sanctuary's main building, received an unexpected group of guests. As she cut her cake, movement outside the window drew everyone's attention. There stood River, Sunny, and several other pack members, their eyes reflecting the warm light from inside. It was as if they had come to wish her well in their own way. The story of River's rescue and rehabilitation became something of a legend in Montana wildlife circles. Dr. Kate's paper on the unusual fungal condition helped other sanctuaries identify and treat similar cases, though none quite as severe as River's. But more than that, the experience changed how the sanctuary approached wildlife rehabilitation. Sometimes, Dr. Kate would often say during educational programs, "The best rehabilitation isn't about changing an animal to fit our world, but about helping them return to theirs." For Emma, the lesson was even more personal. On difficult days, when the loss of her father felt particularly heavy, she would walk to the sanctuary's fence line at dusk. More often than not, she would be joined by a black dog and a golden retriever, their quiet presence a reminder that family could be found in the most unexpected places. The fungal growths that had once threatened River's life became nothing more than a memory, but the bonds formed during her time of need proved permanent. She remained a bridge between 2 worlds, a symbol of resilience and adaptation who showed that sometimes, the path to healing meant finding a balance between where you came from and where you needed to be. As years passed, visitors to the Bitterroot region would occasionally report sightings of a unique pack led by a silver wolf dog, accompanied by a sleek black dog and a golden retriever. Those who knew their story would smile, understanding that they were witnessing the continuing saga of a remarkable partnership between the wild and those who had chosen to help preserve it. Dr. Kate eventually expanded the sanctuary's programs to include research on wild dog pack dynamics, with Storm's pack serving as a primary study group. Their unusual acceptance of controlled human interaction, while maintaining their wild nature, provided valuable insights into wildlife conservation and rehabilitation practices. Emma, inspired by her experiences with River and the pack, decided to follow in her mother's footsteps. As she grew older, she pursued her veterinary degree, specializing in wildlife medicine. Her unique perspective on the relationship between wild and domesticated animals, shaped by her childhood experiences with River and Sunny, brought fresh insights to the field. The legacy of River's rescue extended far beyond the immediate impact on one dog's life. It became a testament to the extraordinary capacity for healing and adaptation in both animals and humans. The story served as a reminder that sometimes, the most profound connections come from reaching across the boundaries that separate us, whether they be between species, between wild and tame, or between loss and healing. On clear nights, when the Montana sky is filled with stars and the air carries the whispers of the wilderness, those who know where to look might catch a glimpse of a remarkable family, not bound by convention or species, but by something far more fundamental: the simple, profound understanding that love and loyalty know no boundaries. And if you listen carefully, you might hear the harmonious howls of a pack that chose to bridge two worlds, led by a silver wolf dog, accompanied by a black dog with knowing eyes, and a golden retriever who carried the scars of her past as badges of honor rather than marks of shame. Their song is a reminder that in the end, it's not about choosing between being wild or tame, but about finding the courage to be exactly who you are meant to be. For Emma, now Dr. Emma Davidson, each visit from the pack remains a precious gift, a connection to both her past and her purpose. River's story continues to inspire new generations of wildlife conservationists, proving that sometimes the most powerful healing comes not from changing who we are, but from finding those who accept us exactly as we are, barnacles and all.